welcome to the online class offered by the Department of Botany, Marthoma College, Chandra. Today we will discuss about the second phase of photosynthesis, that is the dark reactions. We know that photosynthesis is made up of two sections, that is dark reactions and light reactions. The light reactions is mainly harvesting the light provided by the sun or any other artificial means of light. And in the second phase, the carbon is taken in the form of carbon dioxide and it is converted into carbohydrates. And this carbohydrates is used up by the plants to supply their needs of energy, and also they store the excess amount of food prepared during this process and store it in the form of starch, and this is taken in by various other animals. So here we are going to discuss about the major dark reactions. The first and foremost or the most important type of dark reaction is commonly known as C3 cycle. That means we know carbon dioxide or CO2. How many carbon is it made up of? One. That we all know. So this carbon dioxide is taken in and it is reacting with another carbon compound within the plant, and it is formed into a 3-carbon compound. So this type of dark reaction in which carbon dioxide is taken in and it forms a 3-carbon compound. This is known as the C3 cycle. So we can see that most of the plants that we see around us, and a few of the pictures are included in this slide itself: wheat, potato, rice, members of Leguminosae family, all are belonging to the group of plants which carry out the C3 cycle. So the first important thing you should know is that what is the C3 cycle. So it is a cycle of dark reaction or carbon fixation in which carbon dioxide is first converted into a 3-carbon compound. C3 cycle was elucidated by M. Calvin and A. Benson, and later various other scientists also studied in detail about it. So this was done in 1950. It is also known as Calvin-Benson cycle after the scientists who have discovered this cycle. So C3 cycle can also be known as Calvin-Benson cycle, or it is also known as reductive pentose phosphate pathway. All these are the names of a type of dark reaction. We also have other two types of dark reactions seen in a few other groups of plants. But a majority of the plants are showing the C3 cycle. This is present in almost all photosynthetic organisms, including primitive algal forms and to the most advanced angiosperm plants. So it includes algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and are the most advanced angiosperms. A few examples include wheat, soybeans or members of Leguminosae family, potato plant, rice, etc. So we have discussed in detail about light reactions. So light from the sun is accepted by the chlorophyll pigment and they get excited and they undergo the light reaction procedure as we saw in the previous sessions, and they prepare ATP and NADPH. In the light reactions which are taking place in the thylakoid membranes. So we have seen various protein compounds in the thylakoid membranes which are responsible for producing ATP and NADPH. So these are the energy molecules which are synthesized during the process. These energy molecules are entering into the surrounding media of the chloroplast. So the light reaction is occurring in the thylakoid membrane and dark reaction is occurring in the stroma. So that is a difference, one of the difference seen between light reactions and dark reactions. That is, light reaction is occurring in the thylakoid membrane while the dark reaction is taking place within the stroma. So the assimilates, photoassimilates, that is ATP and NADPH, which are produced in the light reactions, enters into the enters into the stroma. Along with this, atmospheric carbon dioxide is taken up by the plants through stomata, and there are various enzymes which convert them into carbohydrates. So that is what we have studied in our previous classes. That is, plants use sunlight and they convert carbon dioxide into carbohydrates in the presence of chlorophyll. That is what we are explaining now. So the role of light is to prepare various photoassimilates like ATP and NADPH, and these energy molecules are used to convert carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. This is done with the help of enzymes. And all these reactions in which carbon dioxide is converted into carbohydrates can be concluded by the name dark reactions or carbon reactions of photosynthesis. This set of reactions are also known as carbon fixation, where the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is fixed into carbohydrate seen inside the plant cell. So carbon dioxide is seen in the atmosphere, it is taken in and it is converted into some compound within the plant. This picture shows the outline of these reactions. We will explain them later. Now coming to the stages of C3 cycle, we have carboxylation phase where carbon dioxide is the acceptor molecule and these are added to a compound or an enzyme known as ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. So this is commonly known as Rubisco. So Rubisco accepts carbon dioxide and converts it into another compound. So this basically the carbon reactions take place in the form of a cycle. So we have seen the name as C3 cycle or Calvin-Benson cycle. So this is a cycle. So the starting point of this cycle is ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. So ribulose is a 5-carbon. Ribulose is a 5-carbon sugar, and this ribulose is containing 2 phosphate groups in its first and fifth position. So this ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate is starting point of C3 cycle, and carbon dioxide enters and combines with this ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate, and it is converted into 2 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. Now you know 3-phosphoglycerate is a 3-carbon compound, and we have said in the first slide that this C3 cycle got its name from the step, the very first step where 1 3-carbon compound is formed. So that is, this step gives the name to this cycle. So the first step of C3 cycle is carboxylation of ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. So CO2 plus ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate combines and it gives 2 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. Second stage is the reduction of 3-phosphoglycerate into 3-carbon carbohydrates driven by ATP and NADPH. And the last phase is the regeneration of the CO2 acceptor, that is regeneration of ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. And this regeneration phase consists of a few steps, and finally we will get the ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate, which can be used for the next cycle of Calvin-Benson cycle. So this is a brief idea about the stages of C3 cycle. It is made up of 3 stages. First is the carboxylation stage, second is the reduction stage, and third one is the regeneration stage. We will see each and every stage in detail. So carboxylation stage, 3 molecules of ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate combines with 3 molecules of carbon dioxide and water and produce 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate and 6 protons. So we see 3 molecules of a 5-carbon compound will give you 3 into 5, 15 carbon molecules, and 3 molecules of carbon dioxide will give you 15 plus 3, 18 carbons. So these 18 carbons are redirected or refurnished into 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. This 3-phosphoglycerate is a 3-carbon compound, so 6 into 3 is also giving us the same 18. So no carbon is lost here, and this is also seen in the reaction. So 3 molecules of ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate plus 3 molecules of carbon dioxide in the presence of 3 molecules of water will give you 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate and 6 molecules of protons. This is the first reaction of C3 cycle, and this reaction is catalyzed by an enzyme known as Rubisco. Rubisco or ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. We will see the detailed study about this enzyme in the later session. 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate then combine with 6 molecules of ATP and form 6 molecules of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate and 6 ADP. Here, the phosphate group from ATP is added to the 3-phosphoglycerate. So the substrate molecule had only 1 phosphate group, while the product has got 2 phosphate groups in each molecule. So we can see that 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate is converted into 6 molecules of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Now you may wonder why this is known as 1,3-bisphosphate, because phosphate group is coming to the first and third carbons of the compound. We said that this is a 3-carbon compound, 1, 2, 3, and among the 1, 2, 3, phosphate group is attached to the first and the third carbon in each of the molecules. So that is why this is known as 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. This reaction is catalyzed by an enzyme known as 3-phosphoglycerate kinase. Kinase enzymes carry out phosphorylation process, and this phosphate group is obtained from the ATP molecules which are used in the reaction. So the second step is 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate combines with 6 molecules of adenosine triphosphate to form 6 molecules of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate plus ADP. The second stage of C3 cycle is the reduction phase, and the first stage has finished and the second stage is beginning. The second stage begins with 6 molecules of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. This combines with 6 molecules of NADPH and 6 protons to form 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and 6 molecules of NAD plus along with 6 molecules of inorganic phosphate. Here One thing you should note is that 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate contains two phosphate groups, while glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate contains just one phosphate group. The functional group of the molecules, bisphosphoglycerate and glyceraldehyde phosphate, is different. So one is an acid form and the other one is an aldehyde form. So the functional group is changed and one phosphate molecule is removed. This phosphate molecule is remaining in the form of inorganic phosphate. So here the reaction is catalyzed by NADP glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase, and this dehydrogenase molecule converts this acidic form into the aldehyde form. Dehydrogenase means it removes one hydrogen molecule and it converts it into a aldehydic form. So the first step of reduction phase is the conversion of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and NADPH is used up into NADP+. In the next step, two molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted into two molecules of dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So in the previous step, we have prepared 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. From among these 6 molecules, only 2 molecules get converted into dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Here also the functional group is changed from aldehyde form into a ketone form, acetone form, and this is catalyzed by the enzyme known as triose phosphate isomerase. This two compounds is an isomeric form, that is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate are isomeric forms having same chemical formula, and these are produced in 2 molecules. In the next step, 1 molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate combines with 1 molecule of dihydroxyacetone phosphate and forms fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. So in the previous step, we have already prepared the dihydroxyacetone phosphate, and this combines with the previously prepared glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to produce a 6-carbon compound. One thing we should note is that both glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate are 3-carbon compounds, and they combine with each other to form a 6-carbon compound with 2 phosphate groups, and the phosphate groups are attached to the first and the 6th positions. So glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate combines with dihydroxyacetone phosphate and gives fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. This reaction occurs in the presence of an enzyme known as aldolase. In the next step, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate combines with water to form fructose 6-phosphate, and 1 phosphate group is eliminated. We can see that it is from the first position, first carbon. So fructose 6-phosphate is formed, and this reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase. As we said, kinase is an enzyme which carries out phosphorylation, while phosphatase removes phosphate groups. This ends the reduction phase, and now we should go for the regeneration, because we have started the cycle with ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. So we should provide the ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate back to the cells so that it can carry out the next cycle. So the third stage of C3 cycle is the regeneration phase, and here we have various reactions to complete the formation of ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and forms erythrose 4-phosphate and cellulose 5-phosphate. Here, a 6-carbon compound and a 3-carbon compound is converted into a 4-carbon erythrose and 5-carbon cellulose. Fructose is 6-carbon, glyceraldehyde is 3-carbon, and erythrose is 4-carbon compound while cellulose is 5-carbon. So fructose 6 plus 3 will give you 9 carbons total, and this 9 carbons is reshuffled into 4 and 5. We already know that 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. 9 can also be written as 4 plus 5. Okay, so this is the first stage of regeneration step, that is fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate combines to form erythrose 4-phosphate and cellulose 5-phosphate. This reaction is catalyzed by trans-ketolase, and in the next step, erythrose 5-phosphate combines with the dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So here erythrose is a 5-carbon compound and dihydroxyacetone phosphate is a 3-carbon compound, and erythrose is a 4-carbon compound and dihydroxyacetone phosphate is a 3-carbon compound. 4 plus 3 will give you 7. So it will provide a 7-carbon compound known as pseudoheptulose 1,7-bisphosphate. So we had fructose and glyceraldehyde which combined to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate which combined to form a 9-carbon compound, and it was divided into erythrose 4-phosphate and cellulose 4-phosphate, and this erythrose 4-phosphate will combine with dihydroxyacetone phosphate and form pseudoheptulose 1,7-bisphosphate, which is a 7-carbon compound. This reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme aldolase. In the next step, the 7-carbon compound will combine with water and remove the phosphate group from it. So pseudoheptulose 1,7-bisphosphate combines with water and forms pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate. Inorganic phosphate is removed from the first position of the 7-carbon compound. This reaction is catalyzed by a phosphatase enzyme known as pseudoheptulose 1,7-bisphosphatase. In the next step of regeneration, this pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate combines with glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So 7 plus 3 will give you 10. And this 10 is rearranged in the form of ribose 5-phosphate and cellulose 5-phosphate. This reaction is also catalyzed by the trans-ketolase enzyme, and we got 2 molecules of cellulose 5-phosphate. This gets converted into 2 molecules of ribulose 5-phosphate, and this reaction is catalyzed by an epimerase enzyme known as ribulose 5-phosphate epimerase. So we can see that all these compounds, that is xylulose, ribulose, etc., are all 5-carbon compounds. There are only small rearrangements to be made. So 2 molecules of cellulose 5-phosphate is converted into 2 molecules of ribulose 5-phosphate by the enzyme ribulose 5-phosphate epimerase. Later, this ribose 5-phosphate, which was formed in the previous step, is converted into ribulose 5-phosphate. So we got 3 molecules of ribulose 5-phosphate. These 3 molecules of ribulose 5-phosphate, when combined with ATP, and forms 3 molecules of ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. Here, the phosphate group from ATP is added to the ribulose 5-phosphate and it forms ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. ADP is removed and 3 protons are also removed. This reaction is catalyzed by phosphoribullokinase. That is, phosphoribulose is phosphorylated by the kinase enzyme. So this is an overall idea of the cycle which we have explained now. So we can see that it started all with the RUBP. RUBP is ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. It is combining with carbon dioxide in the presence of the enzyme known as Rubisco and forms 3-PP, 3-phosphoglycerate. And this 3-phosphoglycerate takes up one ATP molecule each and it forms 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. The enzyme here is phosphoglycerate kinase. Later, 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate with the help of a dehydrogenase enzyme. Also, the hydrogen is provided by NADPHH+, and this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is reversibly converted also into a dihydroxyacetone phosphate, that is DHAP. Okay, this DHAP and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate combine together to form a 6-carbon compound known as fructose 6-phosphate and fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, which is converted into fructose 6-phosphate. This fructose 6-phosphate can later get converted into fructose itself and later to glucose. That is the product which we see in the C3 cycle. The DHAP later combines with the erythrose 4-phosphate and forms the pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate and later it is converted into pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate. This also combines with glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and forms 2 molecules of 5-carbon compound, cellulose 5-phosphate and ribose 5-phosphate. Ribose 5-phosphate and cellulose 5-phosphate are both converted into ribulose 5-phosphate and it is phosphorylated in the last step by phosphoribullokinase using ATP and it forms the RUBP. So here we have regenerated the RUBP which was used in the cycle and also we have provided a few molecules of fructose which is later converted into glucose, which is the product of photosynthesis. So the enzymes are written in each step and you will study these enzymes as per the reactions. The next reaction of photosynthesis of C3 cycle can be written as 3 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 5 molecules of water plus 6 molecules of NADPH plus 9 molecules of ATP forms glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate plus NADP plus 3H plus 9 ADP and 8 inorganic phosphate. So this is the overall reaction of photosynthesis and the fixation of 3 carbon dioxide molecules into 1 triose phosphate uses 9 ATP molecules and 6 NADPH molecules. The ratio of ATPs to NADPH is 3:2 and the triose phosphate is later given for various phases. 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is formed. Among them, 5 molecules are used up for the regeneration of RUBP. That is, we have to give back the RUBP to carry out the further cycles of C3 cycle. So 5 molecules of RUBP in each step, in each cycle is used for regenerating the RUBP and 1 molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is used for the carbon metabolism of the plant. So triose phosphates are glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. It is converted into sucrose or starch in chloroplast, and this sucrose is taken to the phloem, and the phloem, it is taking or transported to the various parts of the plant, to the roots and to the stem tips, to the flowers, in each and every part of the plant. And there in each part it is used up for the growth, or it is stored as polysaccharides. Regulation of C3 cycle. Carbon dioxide is playing a major role in the regulation of C3 cycle, and it is the substrate and also the activator for Rubisco. The enzyme Rubisco gets activated only in the presence of carbon dioxide, and only then the carbon fixation can be done. Another enzyme which is activating the process is known as Rubisco activase, and it regulates the inhibition caused by sugar phosphates. That is, increase in the sugar content of the plants will inhibit the C3 cycle or Rubisco, and this condition is stopped by the Rubisco activase. So it complements the carbon dioxide dependent activation. There are other supramolecular complexes of enzymes, that is phosphoribullokinase and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase, which are regulated by the intensity of light. So depending upon the presence of light or the light intensity, these enzymes may get activated or deactivated. So light is also an important factor which controls the activity of various other factors like Rubisco activase, fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase, pseudoheptulose 1,7-bisphosphatase, phosphoribullokinase, NADP glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, etc. So with this, we are coming to the conclusion of this session. Hope you have understood this. For any other clarification, you may contact. We will continue with the other carbon cycles in the next session. Thank you.